In 2011, Nickelodeon did the unthinkable. They took their two most biggest shows at the time, put them into a blender, and said, you know what, we're gonna make a crossover episode, and thus iParty with vicTORIous was born. We're talking from Kenan Thompson having an underground party at his house, Sam Puckett and Rex Robbie having a rap battle with one another, and Steven thinking that eventually Tori and or Carly wouldn't found him cheating on the both of them. This was peak television for all of us who grew up in that era. But looking back, how does this episode still hold up? Between the plot holes, the Leave It All to Shine mashup, and everything in between, it's so much to unpack with this episode. So today we're gonna go back into 2011 to see if this is a chaotic masterpiece or just some random episode that they just threw together. Hello all in the land of YouTube, and welcome back to this channel. My name is Lysandria X. We're gonna be talking about iParty with vicTORIous while I do my makeup, because I feel like this is more of like something that we can just talk about while I'm casually doing something instead of it being more of a formal video. I've never done anything like this. If you guys want to skip just straight to the discussion, because I'm actually going to be going over the makeup products that I'm using first, I'll put the time up here and I'll also leave it in the description. So if you just go to the description, you just click on the timestamp and it'll take you straight there. First, I just want to discuss the makeup products that I'm using so I don't have to talk about it while I'm doing this video with you guys. And then I'm going to change outfits at the end of the video and everything like that, because I do have somewhere to go. For my eyelids, most of the products that I get are either from the beauty supply store, Dollar Tree, or Walmart. So I get this from the beauty supply store. This is the Ruby Kisses No More Blemish Pressed Powder. It's in the color, shoot, I don't even know, it doesn't even, I think it's Toasted Almond. Then I use two different BB creams. I just came back from the beach last week, so I'm gonna have to use medium more than light medium, but this is the NK, so New York Perfection BB cream right here. In the wintertime, I mainly use more light medium than medium, and then in the summertime, I use more medium than light medium, but like I said, I just came back from the beach, so I'm gonna be using a little bit more of that. And I also have my makeup brush too. This is also Absolute New York. I also have like a travel size baby brush as well that I used to use as well. I feel like this one's more efficient for me, so I'm gonna use this. For my blush, I don't use blush. I actually use the eyeshadow palette for blush, and it is the LA Colors in the palette Water Lily. This is also from Dollar Tree. Now this is the only product I get from Ulta. I know you can also get it from like Walmart and Target and stuff like that too, but I just rather get it from Ulta. I don't know, but this is Essence Lash Princess. This is what I use for mascara, obviously. For my lips, it's either I do a brown lip or I just add different colors. Today I'm just doing my simple brown lip. So I get this. This is actually an eyeliner eyebrow pencil from Wet n Wild. I got it from Walmart. And I don't know what color this is, but it should look like this one. And then I use this lip gloss from the beauty supply store, and then this Carmax from Dollar Tree. And then for eyeliner, like for my waterline, I just use Wet n Wild as well. And then I bought this a while ago, but this is the e.l.f. eyeliner pen. And if you guys also just see me looking over to the side, I have my mirror right in front of me, and I usually don't do my makeup sitting down either, so this is a little different for me as well. But we're gonna persevere. For my setting spray, this is the Ruby Kisses Dewy Sateen, or Sateen, I think, hydrating setting spray. I want like a real one from Ulta, because even though yes, this is BB cream, I want it to last just a little bit longer. Then for my eyebrows, I actually like don't use an eyebrow pencil or anything like that, because I have like naturally thick eyebrows. They're trying to grow back in because I got them waxed for my birthday, but I just use Edge Booster. I literally use edge control on my eyebrows because it's the only thing that genuinely that keeps them held down for like a long time, so it works wonders for me. I don't feel the need to buy an eyebrow gel or anything like that, because this works fine for me. So I'm gonna take off my glasses and I'm gonna get to doing this makeup. And there are 7 things that I want to talk about in this video when it comes to the iParty with vicTORIous situation. I feel like I need to turn on my lamp. I feel like, okay, sorry, I should have turned on my lamp prior, because I was thinking about turning on my lamp, but I didn't. But there are some 7 things that I do want to talk about when it comes to this chaotic episode of iParty with vicTORIous. Well, the first thing I want to talk about that I have on my list is the rap battle between Sam and Rex, aka Robbie. It was a weird addition. I'm gonna be honest, I guess it was supposed to have that wow factor when we were kids, like, oh, we got Sam Puckett rapping, and I don't know, I think Tron had made a video one time talking about how Sam was supposed to be like black, and I don't know, and Rex Powers was also supposed to be black, as well. I don't know where that logic came from with those two having the rap battle, but the rap battle, I personally feel like the rap battle was just like essentially like unnecessary. It was just like supposed to be a funny gag in the episode, but it wasn't really meant to be taken seriously. I could have really done without the rap battle. Like as a kid, when I first watched this episode aired, I was like, okay, now Sam and Rex rapping. Well, I didn't really care for Rex, but you know what I'm saying, like they rapping, they battling, Sam gonna win this. But as an adult, as I watched the episode back of iParty with vicTORIous, I'm kind of just like, what? It was 2011, it was in the past, we were all kids, we didn't really, you know, we didn't really care nor mind. The cast mashup, that's the second thing I want to talk about. I think the cast mashup, I think there could have been so much more done with this episode if some of the cast members had to interact more, because like the cast didn't necessarily really interact until they got to the party. I mean, there was no point in interacting until they got to the party, but I think that party definitely should have solidified the cast really meeting each other. This was like a missed opportunity, and I know they eventually did it in Sam and Kat, but I think this was like a genuine missed opportunity to have Sam and Jade talk to one another or be around one another or something, because like even though we constantly like compare the characters a lot, but we always say that Jade is all bark no bite, but Sam will bite. It would have been like nice to see those two, because even as a kid I registered in my mind that Jade was like really mean and so was Sam, and it would have been nice to see those two interact with one another, but we didn't even get that in this episode. Instead we just had Sam wanting to beat Steven up with the butter sock, and I mean, he should have not been cheating on Carly, no way. The only time like all of the cast members genuinely got to interact with one another was when they did the song. And honestly, like the song, I can't remember who had mentioned it. It was like another like creator who mentioned something about the iParty with vicTORIous episode. Cause I watched like a lot of like nostalgia creators, so sometimes some of them all genuinely do blend together for me. So I'm so sorry. But someone had mentioned how Tori was being selfish, because when the DJ was like, I'm gonna spin one that everybody knows, and like Carly was singing, you know, the iCarly theme song, but then here comes Tori singing Let It Shine. They're like, oh, then there goes Tori making it all about her when the song isn't even about her. The DJ was talking to the iCarly crew, and then here goes Tori wanting to steal some shine and spotlight. But the crazy thing is about the song is like, but how did they know each other's theme songs? And I think that like the cast mashup when it comes to the song genuinely just does not make any sense, because like the iCarly theme song, it wasn't even like a song in like the cinematic universe. It's not even a real song in the Schneider universe, so we don't even really understand why those, you know, why it was a mashup, you know. It didn't make any sense. It didn't make any sense that, you know, everybody knew Leave It All to Me and Let It Shine. Like, how did we know that? Like, I remember watching it as a kid, like watching the mashup, like the song between like Leave It All to Shine, and of course at the time as a kid I thought it was like so iconic, because I'm like, oh my goodness, like they're mashing up the theme songs. And it was like at the time, like when I was a kid, it was so cool to me that they were doing that. But like as an adult and like watching everything back in like retrospective, move you guys back a little bit, watching it in like retrospective now, I'm like, that didn't make any sense to have the two cast sing their theme songs when they don't know each other. Let It Shine is a real song that Tori sung for the showcase, we know that. But when it comes to the Leave It All to Me, nobody knew that song. Like, that is just the iCarly theme song for the actual television show, but it's not in the Schneider universe as a real song. Let It Shine is a real song because it was sung for the showcase, or like a song, well, it was a song that was probably written by Andre, knowing, you know. But at the same time, like that, the song just didn't make sense. And I feel like I'm beating a dead horse when I say this now. That singing, like the cast singing each other's songs didn't make any type of sense whatsoever. I'm going to also talk about Trina and the kids. The interesting thing about iParty with vicTORIous had like 5 million different plots running through. Like sometimes it was genuinely kind of hard to keep up with the different plots. But Trina and the kids, I don't know why Lane entrusted that girl with his friend's kids. Trina, out of all people, I rather would have trusted asking somebody else like Kat first before. And I mean, like, eventually the kids were tossed off to Kat, but not from Lane. It was from Trina who tossed off the kids. So I'm like, Lane never should have trusted that girl. And I know like Trina wanted to go to the party and Lane wouldn't let her bail, but I'm like, but Lane should have knew that Trina was still going to go to the party with them kids in her hand. I don't understand why Lane didn't think that that's something that Trina wasn't capable of, because Trina was definitely capable of going over the boundaries and taking kids to a party that they didn't need to be at. And poor kids, they were traumatized throughout the entire episode. Mabel was like, please help us, because like those kids should have not been there. And Trina knew that. She just was being selfish. And my question as well is, did Lane even pay her to babysit? Okay, y'all, I'm actually going to do my eyeliner. And for my eyeliner, I can't talk or anything. So I'll be back whenever I finish my eyeliner. Okay, guys, I'm back because I can't do like my winged eyeliner. I just can't do that sitting down and doing it now. Next, I also want to talk about Kenan Thompson's safety in this episode. Of course, the reason why he moved to that big mansion in the first place was because the panda kept following him. That's why he literally got that new house. It was because the panda. And since the party was a public party and Rex posted the address on the internet, the panda was able to find where he was. So basically, Rex doxed Kenan Thompson, and I'm just like, Kenan Thompson ain't had no security, no nothing. He didn't report this man. He didn't put a restraining order on this panda. Like, what? I was so confused. I just could not understand why this panda was able to do that, you know? And I think, like, he really should have had, like, if you couldn't get a security guard, at least had a restraining order on this panda. I think that is actually, like, very concerning that this panda followed Kenan Thompson everywhere Kenan Thompson went. Of course, it was just the gag for the episode, but, like, that's still, like, a very scary situation. Like, the reason why you moved is because you have someone stalking you, and then some random this random teenager, because we know that Rex technically didn't even do that. Everything that Rex does is from Robbie. So, Robbie posted Kenan Thompson's address on the public internet because it was an open invite, and now the panda obviously has access to Kenan Thompson's house, him, the party, all of it. They wrote it for jokes and for laughs, but honestly, that's a very scary and very serious situation. Speaking of Kenan Thompson, I also want to talk about Kenan allowing Andre to throw a party at his house. Why are you letting a 16, 17-year-old boy throw a party in your house, though? That is also very concerning to me. Why are you letting a teenager, a minor, someone who's underage? I wouldn't even trust like a 20-year-old to throw a party in my house. Hold on, I don't even know how old Kenan Thompson was in 2011. Hold on, let me look it up.
Kenan Thompson was 32 in the Smurfs when he played the character.
So he was 28. I'm sorry, guys. I also cannot do my waterline while I'm talking. Give me a second. If you're 28 years old, I would not want some measly 17, 16-year-old kid in my house, especially since Kenan's new house was like really, really nice. But I also think Kenan Thompson, that was just creepy to just have really only adult, you, Sikowitz, and Spencer at this party. And they, especially I remember at the end of the episode when he took the cup, he's like, you all are Northridge girls. Sir, you're 28. You're 28. They're 16. And granted, there probably could have been a few grown people like in the party, like maybe an 18-year-old, not grown, but 18 or 19-year-old, maybe a 20 or 21-year-old sporadic throughout that particular party, because maybe it's like an old account, because maybe they used to go to Hollywood Arts or something like that, and they just had like an old account. But other than that, filled with like 15, 16-year-olds. And you're the only grown man. You're one out of 3 grown men there. And then Andre's grandma. That's also very concerning to me too. And as kids, like, of course, they wrote it to like be like laughed off. But I think that's also like a very serious situation just the same. Like Sikowitz being like creepy. Why are you in a pool waiting for Beck? Why are you in a pool waiting for a 16, 17-year-old kid? If you couldn't get him during class, you need to be doing stuff at school and in your curriculum that you're teaching to get him to experience real fear. Not going to a party, letting Tori pee herself because you scared her with a trumpet, and then sitting in a jacuzzi waiting for this kid to come. That's also weird behavior just the same. This episode was also like very creepy in that aspect too. Usually like Sikowitz would not act like that like in general. Why like in this episode everything was like written so different? Because also when Spencer had flipped that screen, when Sam was like, oh, Steven's cheating on Carly, screen flipped, and he's like, whoa, like, Spencer had never acted like that before. So I don't know what the writers were on for iParty with vicTORIous, but this was not a good episode. But on a more lighter note, the last thing I also do want to talk about, Steven not thinking that Carly and Tori would not catch him. Sir, you didn't think that eventually 2 and 2 were going to be put, that's the thing. That mess tripped me out, because like... You didn't think that eventually one of your girlfriends you fly back to Seattle and LA every other month because your parents are split. And you didn't think that after a while that Carly and or Tori was going to put 2 and 2 together. That just that's funny to me. I was like, that genuinely does not make no sense that Carly and or Tori wouldn't have not eventually caught on. Like, wait a minute, you're in Seattle. Do you know iCarly, the funny web show? Because I know you fly back to Seattle every other month to go see your mom. So you don't know who iCarly is? You didn't think that Tori would eventually like bring it up? And I think actually in one of the extended cuts or the extended edit, Tori did eventually bring it up to him. She was like, "You've never heard of iCarly? I figured you would know what iCarly is since you live in Seattle every other month." Like, you did not think that one of the two or both of them was going to eventually catch on. And that's why, honestly, Sam was so real for that. Shout out to Sam. Because Sam really was that girl looking out for her friend. I genuinely don't understand why Steven thought that nobody would eventually catch on to his buffoonery. No, I don't understand why he didn't think that eventually one of the two or both of them was going to eventually catch on to his shenanigans and him cheating. That's kind of like, it kind of reminds me, like, speaking of like that, it kind of reminds me too of that episode of Good Luck Charlie when Teddy found out that Spencer was cheating with the other girl. What was her name? Skylar. Like, Spencer, you didn't think that eventually, you talking about some, oh no, that's my cousin. You didn't think that eventually one of the two or both of them was going to find out that you was dating two girls at the same time? I've never understood dudes like that. Why are you dating two girls at the same time? Just be single. If you can't make up your mind, just be single. Work on yourself. Be single. I'm going to go put my jewelry on, change outfits, and then I'll be back to show you guys my finished product of how I'm getting myself together. So I'm changing to my top now. I'm just about to put like all of my jewelry on and everything like that. And well, first let me set my makeup because I haven't did that. Where's my fan? Oh, I know my fan. iParty with vicTORIous. I literally like remember the commercials coming out for iParty with vicTORIous, and honestly I was like so excited as a kid because I'm like, wow, because like also iParty with vicTORIous kind of like bridged the gap between older, like mid Nickelodeon to like new-ish Nickelodeon, if that makes sense. Because like I feel like iCarly came out during a time where like Nickelodeon, it wasn't like old Nickelodeon like something like Drake and Josh, or like I feel like when it comes to the Schneider stuff, it's like Drake and Josh and like the Amanda Show is like they're together with the mix of like Zoe 101 and then like the other half of Zoe 101, and then iCarly is kind of in that middle section, and then vicTORIous is kind of like more in that new-ish, and then of course they had to add Sam and Cat, and then the new is kind of like more like Henry Danger. I don't know, is this making sense to you guys, or am I just talking just to be talking? I literally remember like iParty with vicTORIous being like a very like serious thing. I don't think I watched it when it premiered, but I do remember like watching it like the next day after, because I remember like growing up, like I was more of a Disney kid. I think I've mentioned that on my channel before, but I was more of a Disney kid than I was a Nickelodeon kid. But my favorite Nickelodeon show was iCarly. vicTORIous was more of a newer concept, but I also did like vicTORIous too, but I was just more of an iCarly girl than I was a vicTORIous girl. But I feel like nowadays, like when I got older, especially like back in 2019 when I was a sophomore in high school, when they released like all of the seasons on Netflix for vicTORIous, I was like so excited, and I think that's when I kind of shifted to being more of a vicTORIous person than I was an iCarly person, because I just hadn't seen iCarly in so long, and it's still like kind of like the same. I haven't seen iCarly like a good episode probably since like 2022 or 2023. It's been a minute since I've seen an episode of iCarly. It's been about 3 years. It has been like a slight minute since I've seen vicTORIous as well. Like I sometimes I'll see like some of those clips on like YouTube from the Nick Rewind channel, but like watching a full-blown episode of vicTORIous, I have not done that in a really long time. I'm gonna also put my glasses on too. Should I put my glasses on? Okay, I think I should turn off my lamp. It's not the same. Okay guys, but this is the makeup look. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Like, comment, share, and subscribe, especially subscribe, and I hope that you guys have a great day. Bye.